J-Dub is back at it here to give everyone another Walking Dead Season 8 episode reaction video. But before I continue with that, it's extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching The Walking Dead, that you take the initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which of course I'll put in the description for you. If that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This is going to be The Walking Dead Season 8 episode number 13. The title of this episode is called Do Not Send Us Astray. This will be my reaction, review, recap of the episode, which I've seen before. Just doing a reaction to it due to the fact that I don't have it on my channel. And of course, like I mentioned in all the other previous videos, doing the reaction due to the fact that they announced that Season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show. So, having taken over leadership of the Saviors following Negan's apparent disappearance, Simon leads the Saviors convoy to the hilltop, now intent on wiping out any survivors rather than the initial plan of trying to coerce them into submission as Negan wanted to. Now, the convoy's traverse is noticed by the hilltop scouts, and community begins to prepare for the imminent attack. When the Savior convoy reaches the community at night, Maggie contacts Simon over the walkie-talkie, warning him that she will personally execute all the Savior prisoners that they still hold captive should he mobilize an attack. Simon says the prisoners are no longer members of the Saviors since they were captured, much to the prisoners' dismay. As they exchange words, Daryl suddenly arrives, riding up on his motorcycle, and starts opening fire at the Saviors with a machine gun, forcing them to start their attack on the hilltop. The battle begins in the earnest, and then prepared for the attack, the hilltop soldiers attack the Saviors from highly defensible positions, taking out several of their numbers. In the midst of all the chaos, Simon takes Dwight to work their way behind the attackers inside the community. Simon spots Tara and begins to hunt her down. However, Dwight, who of course we know has sided with our survivor group, shoots Tara in the shoulder with an untainted arrow, saving her from being killed by Simon or eventually dying due to being infected. And then meanwhile, Rick and his other forces charge in from the outside, chasing out the remaining Saviors. And then the next day, the hilltop community bury their dead and tend to their wounded, unaware that the Saviors had coated their weapons in Walker blood or Walker guts for the attack. Among those injured is Tobin, Carol's former boyfriend from Alexandria from season 6 when she left. And then elsewhere, Rick reveals to Maggie that he attempted to kill Negan just before the attack, but failed and feels somewhat responsible for how the attack went. Daryl accuses Tara of trusting Dwight after seeing him as part of Simon's forces and escaping with the other Saviors, but Tara insists Dwight is still loyal to their group, which is kind of a 180 because she was completely against Dwight a few episodes ago. And then that night, those infected by Walker blood, including Tobin, turn and become infected, become walkers, of course, attacking the sleeping residents of the hilltop. And the remaining residents react quickly to put down the walkers, with Carol herself stabbing the turned walker Tobin in the head. Now, concurrently, Henry accosts the Savior's prisoners with a gun, demanding to know which one of them killed his older brother. When none of them respond, Henry unlocks the pen and threatens them directly. However, one of the prisoners, who had been hit by a Walker-coated weapon, turns and starts attacking them. In the confusion, Jared, the long-haired Savior that killed Benjamin, wrestles the gun away from Henry and leads the other Saviors, as well as Gregory, to escape from the hilltop during the turmoil. And then they discover the missing Savior prisoners, though a few, led by Alden, offer to stay and help the hilltop, even though they know they will be treated as prisoners. And then additionally, Carol and Morgan go to search for Henry, who appears to have disappeared And then Morgan, and this is kind of throughout the episode at the beginning, starts having visions of Gavin, who of course was killed by Henry in the mid-season finale of season 8, and he keeps telling Morgan, "You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is." And Morgan's like, "Argh!" Morgan's starting to go nuts. So interesting stuff. And then when dawn breaks, Maggie oversees more burials of their friends as Jerry and Jesus dig graves, and Diane talks to Maggie. So that's the end of the episode. It was pretty intense at times. It was a little hard to see things at times, but it was pretty good. And I must say, Sadiq did really good in this episode too, which I didn't even mention him at all because there's so many characters in this episode that it was kind of hard to talk about everybody. But as far as my score of the episode, with how intense it was at times and how things turned out, I'm going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. I know a lot of people would probably rate this a little bit lower, sometimes not even an 8, but I think it was a really good episode. And I think Tobin was actually quite frightful as a walker, in my opinion. Very intimidating walker with how tall that guy is, Jason Douglas. So that is my opinion on the episode. As far as the character of the episode, I mean, you could go 3 or 4 ways in this one. I think Maggie, just because Maggie, obviously kind of put the battle or the plan to good. She made the strategy for it, and she's the one that talked to Simon. So I'll give it to Maggie. So those are my thoughts on the episode. Of course, now it's your turn to give me your thoughts. But if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like this episode from season 8, do not send us astray. Go ahead and smash that like button. And even if you didn't like this episode that much, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and this show has been somewhat life-changing for you, smash that like button. If you know anybody that would be interested in this video, go ahead and share it with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section, and you can talk about anything Walking Dead related. Give your score of the episode if you can. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.